In this video, you're going to learn about the biggest pepper seed starting mistakes I've made over the last 30 years and how you can avoid making them yourself. Rich Blood here from Pepper Guru, where we travel the world in search of the best peppers and teach you how to grow them. In this video, I'm going to share with you some of the biggest pepper seed starting mistakes I've made over the last 30 years and how you can avoid them for better, more consistent results. If you're struggling with starting pepper seeds, I get it. I've been there. It's frustrating. And with so much pepper growing dogma out there, it's hard to know who to listen to. This video will help you understand what you might be getting wrong so that you can get pepper seedlings just like this in all 5 of the domesticated species of capsicum in under 30 days. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I'll be doing a bonus giveaway of 2 custom 3D printed Pepper Guru seed dryers. So if you want to learn more about the biggest pepper seed germination mistakes I've struggled with over the last 30 years and how you can overcome them, be sure to light up that like button and let's get into the video. Now, the first mistake that you need to avoid making is starting your pepper seeds too early. Yeah, I know. Blasphemy, right? For so long, I was led to believe that pepper plants grow very slowly. So in order to have big, hardy plants come plant out time, you needed to start them super early indoors. But now I know that none of that is true. Pepper plants actually grow very quickly, and many new growers make this assumption too without truly experiencing just how quickly pepper plants can grow if the right conditions are present. Never once did I think to myself, what do these plants actually want? The simple truth is, when it comes to plant out time, older plants that weren't provided for properly never do better than younger plants that were. The reality is, you do not need to be indoors for more than 4 to 6 weeks. This time lapse was taken over the course of 15 days. Each jump you see in the plants is 1 day. You don't need to start so early. Trust me. If you provide the right conditions by avoiding the next mistakes that I'm going to share with you, you will have plant-out ready pepper plants in under 30 to 45 days. Now, another mistake that you need to avoid is using the wrong medium. Avoid these pre-bagged mediums from all the big box stores, especially the ones that say that they feed up to 3 months. This means they have their proprietary fertilizer blend inside of it, and these are often not reliable in terms of their release rates. So sometimes it's going to be fine, sometimes it's not. I like to call them slow release balls of death, because nothing hurts worse than seeing pepper seedlings come up and then immediately die. Try to use something that you're familiar with. Use something that you know the strength of and how the seedlings are going to respond to it. And don't try new mediums without testing them on a sacrificial batch of seeds, or maybe even some fast peas. Those are really good. If the fast peas come up in a new medium without any deformation on the leaves, you're good to go for peppers. Use a medium that is free of fungus, gnat, larvae, or any other insects. Living soil is the best, but it's not always the greatest for starting seeds in. When starting out, it's best to have a sifted, fluffy, inert mix without much life in it. And instead of buying expensive pre-bagged mixes, I highly recommend that you save some money and make your own. Mixing your own with bulk ingredients is actually fairly simple. Peat and perlite at a ratio of 4:1 makes a perfect seed starting mix. The next pepper germination mistake that I was making that you need to avoid was not keeping my medium at field capacity. I didn't even know what field capacity meant, but now I know what it is and I know why it's best for germinating pepper seeds. Field capacity is the moisture content sweet spot within a soil that allows for maximum pepper plant performance. So how do you know when your medium is at field capacity? That's real easy too. You know you've reached field capacity moisture content within your medium when you can squeeze some of the medium within your fist and only 1 or 2 drops comes out. Not sopping wet and not crumbly dry. Just right. Get familiar with how your mix looks and feels when it's at field capacity. And I suggest, until you get the hang of this, err on the side of a little too wet as opposed to a little too dry. For so long, I was led to believe that we should be overly cautious about watering our pepper seedling starting mix, that we should allow the top layer of soil to dry out completely so we don't introduce any pathogens or insects. But letting that top layer of soil dry out at the seed starting stage can sometimes spell disaster, because you have to think about it. Those hypocotyls are only so long, so if you're letting that top layer of soil dry out completely, you're also letting that hypocotyl dry out completely. And that's the only roots that seedling has at the moment. So I can't stress enough how important it is to err on the side of too much water than not enough. Water is how all this works. Now, another pepper seed germination mistake I wish I had caught sooner was not knowing which temperatures were best for germinating pepper seeds, or how to properly provide those temperatures. The best science we have so far seems to be settled somewhere around the 84 Fahrenheit mark for all domesticated species of peppers, while some of the wild capsicum species prefer more of like a room temperature around 70 degrees, which kind of makes perfect sense when you consider these species' native ecologies. So how did I begin reliably providing my pepper seed starting medium with the correct temperatures? That's super easy. One of these heat mats and thermostat probe combos can be found super cheap online. For around 20 bucks, I immediately began improving my germination rates. And you can too if you buy one of these. Plunge the probe into your medium and set this thermostat for 84 degrees. Now, the most crucial mistake that I made while learning how to germinate pepper seeds that you desperately need to avoid was not providing adequate lighting soon enough. Now, you don't need the lights on before the cotyledons emerge, but you do want to ensure that you've got proper lighting ready and waiting for when that time comes. And if you've done everything right up to this point, it's only taken 7 to 14 days. You really want to begin blasting high-intensity light on the emerging seedlings as soon as possible. For years, I skimped out on buying proper lighting, and I always dealt with tall, leggy, weak seedlings. But now, I understand just how important lighting really is. Think about it. Have you ever seen pepper seedlings germinate outside on their own under full sunlight? Sure you have. We all have. They don't seem to have a problem with that full intensity sunlight, do they? The sunlight in equatorial South America, where peppers evolved, can reach 2,000 micromoles per meter squared per second. But the daily light integral averages 30 to 40 moles per meter squared per day. And with these modern grow lights now approaching the intensity of the sun, it's important to remember that your grow light is not the sun. The sun moves, it rises, it sets, it's not stationary. There's clouds, trees, atmospheric conditions. It's a dance, but your grow light is stationary and unrelenting. So you're not gonna wanna crank that thing all the way up and set it super close to your seedlings for 18 hours a day and expect not to bleach your plants. You really wanna feather your power settings and the distance at which you hang your light to match the DLI of what your sun in your region is gonna be on plant out day. Always listen to the plants, watch for yellowing or bleaching or heat stress. Matching your sun's DLI will ensure that your plants grow compact, have short internodal distances, and get that beautiful basal branching that is so crucial come plant out time. And an added bonus is, if you're matching the sun's DLI, your need for hardening off come plant out time is drastically decreased. These terms, PAR and PPFD, they're great terms to learn as a grower, but the frame of mind that growers should really be in is that of DLI, or daily light integral. And the daily light integral is really easy to understand. It just basically means the intensity of your light multiplied by the length of time that it's on. And as far as how long you need these lights on for, that's really gonna depend on your light, but I highly recommend you try to stick to that 12-12, just like where capsicum evolved in South America. In South America, these plants get all their DLI in 12 hours. This is what the entire capsicum genera has evolved over thousands of years to expect. And measuring this DLI is really, really simple. Just download the Photone app, get yourself some printer paper, put it over your phone's camera lens as a diffuser, and get to measuring. You don't need to buy super expensive measuring devices. This is a really affordable way to quantify the amount of lights that your pepper plants are getting. And I can't stress enough how you really want to be blasting those cotyledons as soon as they emerge out of the soil with as much sun as they're going to be getting on plant out day. And that's generally around 30 to 40 DLI. DLI is the frame of mind you want to stay in. This app has a setting for how long you leave the lights on for. Set it to 12 and raise or lower your light plus the power setting until at the seedling level you're getting 30 to 40 DLI. A quick search on Google can let you know exactly what your region's sun's DLI will be on your plant out day. If you're starting a bunch of pepper seedlings like most of us are, get yourself some proper lighting and start blasting your plants with it as soon as those cotyledons emerge from the soil surface. It took me so many years of struggling with leggy seedlings to finally understand just how much light pepper plants can handle. These things are highlight plants. They can handle it. You just need to learn your new light and understand how it stacks up to the sun. You got this. Oh, and a bonus mistake. For years, I deluded myself into thinking that topping, pruning, and pinching flowers led to stronger plants. I thought just like everybody else that they stole energy from the pepper plants. That's total nonsense and backwards thinking. For years, my belief in this fallacy wrecked my plant structure and my yields. Peppers know that light equals yield. These plants know exactly how to maximize yield, all on their own, so long as you provide them what they want. And what they want is intense, full spectrum lighting as soon as the cotyledons come up. And speaking of cotyledons, that brings us to the next mistake that you need to avoid making, which is not potting up soon enough. For so long, I was led to believe that we had to wait until the plants were stronger, or that the plants couldn't handle being transplanted at such a young stage. Now, I know that none of that is true either. So long as you are gentle, pepper plants can be transplanted immediately into their main nursery pots as soon as those cotyledons come up. When you pot up, you can switch to an all-living soil, because now the fear of insects eating the seed embryos has passed. After transplanting the seedlings to bigger pots and trays, you also no longer have to worry about heating the medium to 84 degrees. Pepper seedlings and their roots will grow just fine at room temperature. The heating mats are really just to help us germinate faster and more consistently. Another pepper seed germination mistake that I was making that you need to avoid sooner rather than later was not sowing more seed than I intended on planting out. For years, I would only sow a few seeds thinking, well, I only need 3 ahi charapita plants, so I'm only gonna sow 3 or 4 seeds, right? And while that may be true, I wasn't thinking just how easy capsicum cross-pollinates. So how do we correct for this error? Sow a lot of seeds. Your chances of ending up with the right plant drastically increase when you sow more seed than you need. Sowing more seeds than you intend on planting out just puts the odds in your favor. And another bonus tip, I had countless heartaches waiting on slow seed. Good seed, ripe, dried well, and stored properly, germinates fast and all at once. Finally, the big one, the number one most crucial mistake that I have made over the last 30 years of starting my pepper seeds was not providing nutrients or fertilizers soon enough. I was told constantly that pepper seedlings can't handle or don't need fertilizer. The truth is, these plants crave immediate nutrition as soon as that radical emerges from that seed. Diluted? Yes. But they want it and they can handle it immediately. Especially now, because we got that DLI cranking and we got that water keeping the medium at a constant field capacity at all times. Nutrient provisions are one of the most important pepper growing fundamentals that will drastically improve your results. Start off with very diluted concentrations, like maybe even 1/10 of recommended dosage until you get the hang of this. A good ppm meter can quantify just how much nutrients you have in your water, and as I stated before, pepper plants can handle a lot of nutrient if you're doing it wisely. To put things into perspective for you, I start my pepper seedlings off at around 30 ppm, and by the end of the season, sometimes my ppm is up above 1600. Finally, understanding how to provide the proper amount of nutrients at the right NPK ratios was the biggest paradigm shift for me in my pepper journey. Okay, it's giveaway time. I've got 2 custom 3D printed Pepper Guru seed dryers up for grabs. Winning one of these seed dryers is super easy. All I want you to do is comment down below your biggest pepper growing mistake. In 1 week from the publishing date of this video, I'm gonna pick 2 winners. 30 years of failures and hard lessons taught me these things, and I'm still learning. But if you avoid these pitfalls, you'll grow peppers like a pro. If you want to learn how to grow peppers in containers and get a huge harvest, click this video right here. And if you want to learn more about where peppers come from, click this video right here.